Hey, ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? Welcome back to Company of Heroes 2. Today we have for you another 1v1. I believe the map, yep, it is in fact a Lost Glider. And it's spawning in the south, doing his best to stamp his own particular brand of Reich on the world. It is in fact the Toiletguy. He's playing the OKW, and he is bringing to the fray Elite Armor Doctrine, Fortifications Doctrine, and that Breakthrough Doctrine, so we definitely could be seeing that Sturmoffizier. God willing, though, we won't. In the north, spawning as the Reds, playing as the Soviets, it is Tassos, a 117, and Tassos is bringing a couple of commanders with very, very poor eyesight. First, we've got Guard Motor Coordination Tactics with his spectacles, then Partisan Tactics, of course, and then Mechanized Support Tactics. So we have recently seen the ISU 152 from the support tactics, and an epic game. If you guys haven't checked that out, I would definitely do so. I believe it was number 82 or 83, one-on-one, a very, very great game. But starting up right now, Tassos is actually going out of meta. He is not building the support weapon Compania. Instead, he is deciding to go for that special rifle command, and indeed the fact that he's got himself the point-and-click bulletin in, as well as torched. It means that we might be seeing a lot of penal troops, and we're already going to see the first penal battalion squad coming out here. For Toiletguy, for his own right, he is just going to go for a very standard opening. Volks into a Kubel, into another Volks, so it should be very, very interesting to see how this goes. In the east, though, we're going to see the combat engineers are going to get forced back ever so delicately by Sturm Pioneers, and why the heck not? I mean, those guys with MP44s are fearsome fighters. And Toiletguy apparently is being very aggressive about picking up his, a couple of VPs, start draining the tickets off of his opponent there. And indeed, he's already decided to go for that Breakthrough Doctrine. So, if he gets himself any sort of munitions flood, we really could be seeing that, oh my gosh, what's it called? Breakthrough Tactics. How the heck did I not think of that? I don't know. But Toiletguy might be losing himself a squad very early on as well. These penal troops are in behind him. He's inside a house. He's all alone, and he's like, please, let me say hello to my little friends back at home in base. I'm not entirely sure why, but for some reason it just kind of sounded like Mario. That's neither here nor there. And he decides to go down instead. He just decides that it's probably better for him to take a little bit of a nap. A little bit of a nappy nap. So he goes down. First blood goes over to Tassos 117. Very, very poor unit preservation there from Toiletguy. But he's sacrificing his units to pick up a lot more territory. He's flooding a lot of information, a lot of resources in already. Indeed, these conscripts are trying to go and put up a fighting position and going to get behind it to start capping out that strategic point. Unfortunately for the Soviets, despite really being able to push back the early German forces, they haven't translated that into a lot of real effective map control. Indeed, you're going to see it happen right now. The Sturmpires are going to come in, and although these Volkskriegs are getting wrecked and shredded to pieces, Sturmpires are coming in, and I'm probably going to... Oh, can we see the penal battalion troops go down? Yes, we do. Now we see the violence inherent in the system. And indeed, one penal squad has gone down, but the Sturmpires are just apparently not, they're bloodthirsty men. Look at this. Dear God, they're in among those penal troops, and those convicts are getting thrown back. Yeah, you better run, my friends. You better run. And indeed, we're going to see a clown car actually coming out from Tassos. Not sure that's really the right call, but right now, Toiletguy has got him against the ropes. Insane, I would say. But now with that 50 cal out, that Kubelwagen really should be considering backing up here. And shockingly enough, we're going to see a Sturmoffizier coming out for Toiletguy. So just a quick review of his abilities. It can, of course, put down target them, so it's easier to hit, so it increases the received accuracy that they have. Or force retreat. So imagine that whole, how do I put it, propaganda burst kind of idea. And indeed, the Kubelwagen, although being brave and fighting strong for the fatherland, he decides to go down as well. It takes himself a little bit of a break from the hustle and bustle of wartime life. And indeed, we're going to see this last Volksgrenadier go down. No, instead he's going to be able to capture that point. Now retreat, my friend, retreat. There we go. He's going to back away slowly. Good. And finally, at long last, we are going to see ourselves a Kettenwerfer. And I'm not so sure if it really should have taken that long to come in, but with that scout car the way that it is right now, Oh geez, and the flak, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was that deep. That flak pan, that flak emplacement was really starting to butcher him. And he might really be pushing his luck. You might even need to have that Rakettenwerfer. Yep, and he goes down. The rinky-dink little bit of rifle fire does take down Tassos' vehicles, and that's a little bit embarrassing when you think about it. It was not too much of a difficult position there. But shockingly enough, it still is 5 minutes in. There's been no move to really put down a mechanized regiment headquarters, which is pretty much what you're going to be expecting to see right about now. And really, that might be the best play for him. If he puts down that mechanized regiment, then, yep, there it goes. Finally, we're seeing it. At that point, he pumps out a quick Panzer II, and his opponent has really nothing in play to really, fight him off. Special rifle command is what's he gonna do? Absolutely nothing. Indeed, the fact as well, we're also going to see Schumanns are in place on the right-hand eastern road here. So while this unfortunate mechanized regiment is going to take some rifle fire, I wouldn't be too sanguine if I were with the Soviets. Although, good gosh, they're doing an absolute ton of fire. They're actually doing a lot there. Yikes. Super yikes. I guess you're trying to take it out really, really quick before it goes down. Will he do it? Will he do it? Super close. It's not going to be easy for the toilet guy to really be holding on to it, but he's doing a little bit better now. So the fact that's been put up, he's in good shape, and unfortunately that Rakettenwerfer has been shown. So I sincerely doubt that Tassos is going to tech into any kind of T-70 going on right about now. But he's deciding he can dance if he wants to. He's going to go for the whole guard motor coordination tactics. So will we see guards coming out? I don't know. That might not be the best play necessarily. But knowing that his opponent has the mechanized regiment, it would be a good play, more or less. He can play the PTRS anti-tank rifles. Always a solid decision right there. So he can definitely fight off any kind of early Panzer maneuvers. But I was just thinking about that. And it seems he's reading my mind. He's going to go and call in those guards. He's going to do his thing. He's going to start really be trying to cap on the outskirts of this battlefield, and we'll be able to do so. These pioneers, yep, they're repairing this slowly. And there's a Panzer II coming on to the fray. So the question really becomes, will he run into the guards first, or will he run into the penal troops, or will he run into the conscripts? And the conscripts, I don't think even have any kind of real upgrades going on right now. So that could be a good thing for him right there. Maybe we should take a quick look to see what the deal is. Well, they have already come under fire from these Volksgrens, and nope, they do not have the anti-tank package researched. And that's a great thing right there for that Panzer II, because it means the only thing he's got to worry about are those guards. And those guards, even though they are quite mobile for infantry, they're not going to be so mobile and be able to take out a Panzer II on their own. Can be a kind of a tall order. But these penal troops are coming in behind the Volksgrens as well as his officer, and it's not going to get any better for this poor Rakettenwerfer, who's getting chased away pretty much as soon as he comes onto the fray. P2 comes out, though. He's going to say, hey, bro, I've got some cannon shells with your name on it. And he's going to make that church a truly, truly holy place, blowing holes in the walls as quickly as possible, deciding that he doesn't really have a whole lot of respect for God. It's like, you know what? My cannon is my God. Now, unfortunately for him, those PTRSs are just heavy enough to actually pierce his armored hide. He's going to get forced away there. I guess we're going to see another guard squad coming out here. I don't know, just an idea. And indeed, in the meantime, though, Sturmoffizier is going to get forced back. He's going to run before his officer goes down and gets that kind of forced retreat. And that P2 is doing exactly what he should be doing. He's going to be mobile back and forth across the map until his opponent gets enough anti-tank, soft anti-tank at that, to really make his P2 obsolete. And that's not the case right now, though his opponent has picked up a trip cap for VP. So 459 to 371, 930 into this game. And finally, at long last, whew, this puppy over here has been repaired. And I'm trying to figure out really what the best play here is for Toiletguy, and he might have to plunge deeper into the fray to really get himself out of it, or else he might be flushing away his chances. And that's enough bathroom humor for right now, or potty humor if you prefer. So enough potty humor for right now. Good news, though, for the Germans is the fact that the Soviets have absolutely no mine detection now on the map. So if Tassos gets aggressive at all, we could really see some violent upheavals to benefit the Germans. But 426 to 371, that lead that the Germans had is rapidly closing, and probably because they don't really have a whole very dynamic army group as of right now. Yes, they have that MG34 in the house, and yes, that is good to really be pushing them back ever so slightly. But things like this AT gun are just charging forwards into the fray for some god-awful reason. Oh, luckily for them, these conscripts are just building and doing the whole kind of construction thing, building that bridge to nowhere. And should be able to get at least a couple of kills on retreat here. Are we going to see a squad wipe? Will this B2 drop and go deep? He's going deep. He's going long. He could go all the way. Will these conscripts survive? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's going to look too good for them. Blood gouts into the early morning air. And if I were him, yeah, I would just dive like crazy, man. Pick that guy up. Pick that guy up. Grab that beautiful butterfly. And no, it doesn't happen. It does not happen. Unfortunate right there, but this P2 is not going to go for the whole, like, FU play. Diving super deep. Well, he's really trying to pick up that conscript, isn't he? PTRSs are coming back onto the fray, though. Guards coming in from behind, and ping, ping. Vehicles getting buttoned, vehicles getting hit. That's a big problem right there. The fact now that he's getting buttoned, how long is that? Oh my gosh, okay, so another 20 seconds now before that can happen again. Oh, luckily for the Germans. We see Battle Group headquarters coming out. I dare say that we might. It'd be a good idea, too. But he really should cap out something in this area to make it a little bit more friendly for the German Reich. And I do believe this Panther II is probably going to buy it here. PTRS is probably going to take down this light armor vehicle without too much more work. Yes, they are in negative cover, and yes, they will get savaged by the Sturmoffizier, but there goes the brave Panzer II, and Toiletguy really blew it on his own there. Silly decisions being made. 12-10 in, and this Verkantenwerfer is kind of just chilling over here, taking firepower from these from these Penal Battalion troops, and that's a big issue as well. Dumb decisions being made left and right from a lot of troops. And, yep, Sturmpires are coming in trying to pick up the middle VP. Might be able to do so, but still a little bit of a Ramalama Hamdam. The Penal troops rush out of church, decide that prayer is no longer the answer. And judging by their accuracy with those rifles, that might be true. In the meantime, there's only one Pioneer left. He's probably going to get picked off on retreat. It seems like those guys are just crack shots with those PVT-40s. And here is that whole thing happening. Will we see the Russians actually run across the minefield? Will the Volks make it back to their families? Find out next time. Well, actually find out right about now. Somehow those penal troops are actually firing flame. Is that attacking ground? I actually didn't even know that was possible with the flamethrower through a wall. But alright. And indeed, here they come. They're actually coming in around. They're going to start dropping rounds on top of Battle Group headquarters as well as the mechanized regiment. That's a good decision right there. A little bit embarrassing as well as the fact that Toiletguy has gotten himself both medics as well as mechanics, but he doesn't have a whole lot of really reason to use them. Excuse me, I have a little, hiccups right now, soft hiccups. In the meantime, though, he is finally taking back that middle VP, but he's losing his own off to the west. And indeed, even the Penal Battalion troops are saying this fuel is mine. It doesn't seem to bother them overly much, though. I do declare that they're going to get savaged by grenades and PTRS fire, and just overall, just the weight of fire coming down on top of these Germans is not going to be too friendly for the welfare of the good German people. And indeed, that 120mm mortar coming out, this game has definitely shifted into Tassos' favor. Wow, throwing rounds. Where are they actually throwing those rounds? Interesting decision. Not sure I would have gone that direction myself, but alright. 14:30 into the game, though, it is going to be a Soviet-held center of the map, and intelligently enough, he's not even teching up. Oof. Mine's going out there. And what is mine is now theirs. There we go. Finally seeing the mortar be throwing its rounds on a proper thing. Tassos, though, is not going to go for a higher up tech vehicle, tech structure. Instead, he's just going to kind of continue to chill on his full, how do I put it? his full infantry build, and why the heck not? I mean, to be fair, that guy can go and just push every single direction of the map without taking any punishment for it. Mortar, in the meantime, continues to start throwing rounds down. He's going to put rounds on top of those headquarters positions. Yes, he is, and that's going to be quite a problem for Toiletguy. And though I hate to have that whole humor for, he may in fact be flushing his chances away by calling in a very, very ill-timed SWS. But you know what? Hey, that's not my Bailiwick. It's definitely a little bit different for him, I suppose. That mortar's going to start to look like a hero, too. Penal troops inside that church. Mortar's coming out every which direction. And now the penal troops over here might be cooking those Wieners as they run away. I don't know. But geez, there's still a bunch of mines over here. They know about this one up here to the north. I don't think they know about the one over here to the south. And that's probably for the better for them. And what had been a very, very strong map for the Germans is now fading away. This Rakettenwerfer is getting fried. And not just because he's had a long week. He's actually getting baked to death right about now. He is barely going to make it away. But he's not going to be in very good health when he does it. Yikes. Down to 2 models. Down to 1 model. Will we see one? Yep, there he goes. And the last model does get picked off. That's a big, big problem right there. Allowing the conscripts, who have just been kind of chilling, to really pick up that southeastern strategic point. But could we see some actual revenge being thrown on top of those commies? And the Germans say, better dead than red, but the commies managed to make it away. He does get out with just 1 model and a sliver of health. But where are we right now? 269 to 363. What had been a predominantly blue map is starting to get a little more fiery. Although, I don't know, maybe he's going to see... Yikes. No, the guards are going to make it away. Not a whole lot really happening to them. I would have thought it'd be a lot more damage. And Tassos is calling out a lot of blobbing here. Not sure I would necessarily agree with that. I will say that having the Sturmoffizier does manage to go and throw out some of that combat buff for everyone else here. But that is really kind of a double-edged sword, because if that Sturmoffizier gets pegged, then the Germans are really kind of screwed. I mean, completely screwed, not even marginally screwed, completely screwed. But those DP light machine guns are now on top of those guards, and while the Germans have a good fire point, fire points don't win wars. You got to take out the entire map, my friends. He seems like he might be content to do so. He is just struggling slowly towards actually picking up that final headquarters position. Does finally have fuel back in supply, with an ISG supporting that machine gun and Rakettenwerfer to kind of secure anything up to the north. We have a shockingly strong position for the Germans. Excuse me. Guards, in the meantime, are going to start putting fire down on top of this SWS, and I don't think they're going to be able to stop this damage. Unless, of course, never mind, I could have been wrong here. Grenades going out, really putting a hurt on top of that SWS, but no! Instead, he manages to make it out. And the SWS will survive. That anti-aircraft gun will go on. The show will go on. And those Volks, will the Volks pick up that PTRS? That'd be a great idea there. The Sturmoffizier, that'd be even more fun. Sturmoffizier gets himself a PTRS. So beyond just being an effective fighter and buffing everything else for his own troops, now he is also additionally going to have some anti-tank, a soft anti-tank capability, and that's going to be a great thing for him as well. So have I actually gone and counted him out too early? I don't know. I don't know. What I can say is that the anti-aircraft gun being there as a base of fire is definitely allowing those Germans to claw their way back over here to the west, and that other penal troop does manage to make it away ever so slowly. But now we do have to worry about the German prospects, at least in the immediate future, mostly because of that T-34-76 coming out. And not even, it's actually going to be T-34-85, that longer barrel kind of telling the tale of the tape there. And indeed, it seems that those guard troops are kind of vicious and trying to get some of their own revenge back upon the Germans for slaying their brothers. But you know what, guys? Why can't we just live and let live? Can't we just get along? And the Germans say no. They're starting to shell holy ground there. rounds coming in, impacting, but that stone will stand. The stone will definitely stand. And indeed, these conscripts over here are going to take a little bit of firepower from this ISG, but unless a perfect round comes in, never mind, there goes their cover. That stone is gone, and yep, they're going to delicately try to pick up this VP. Luckily for them, they're just outside of a lot of the firepower that can be coming in at them. Now, even more luckily for them is the fact that this PTRS anti-tank rifle is on top of the Sturmoffizier. And that T-3485 is a lot like a very, very scary tank. To the east, we are going to see that the Volks have decided to finally get back into the game, start taking up some of these other positions yet again. And the Sturmoppios really are like the heroes of the game. They're just making every single one of these headquarters getting back to full strength. And shockingly enough, the T-3485 is taking a fair amount of punishment from the Schwerpanzer headquarters, but the Kettenwerfer says, hey, you stop picking on my big brother, and is really putting the hurt into him. Will he get one more round in? If he does, it might not be so great. No, but they do manage to get away. Unfortunately, though, for the Germans, the fact that right now that mortar is going to continue to drop rounds on top of the headquarters, and once that does, that is a huge problem. In the meantime, middle part of the field, these Obersoldaten are going to try to come forwards and really start pushing back against this penal guards split here. But, hey, yikes, a grenade comes out and savages those penal troops. Does not explode any of them with that flamethrower, but luckily, really, just that's the only thing they can be happy about. Sturmoppios is coming forwards, and under the curtain of artillery fire, they really are able to push out those guards. And he says, you know what, I hear my mom calling, so I'm going to get back there and talk to her real quick. Indeed, the Sturmoppios might even be able to push back this mortar. They do. The mortar is cutting and running. I was going to say gutting and running. They're just trying to get out of there as soon as possible, and you can't blame them now, can you? T-3485 is getting himself repaired. He does have the whole repair battle damage thing, so he's going to come back in extra quick. But it would also cost him 30 munitions, and he doesn't have that to spare at the moment. I am curious, though, has he finally got the anti-tank package? No, but he's got the field infirmary. So I guess that's about good, right? In the meantime, there is now just a ton of flame out in the field, throwing shade back and forth, but it's not going to be a very, very easy time for Tassos to really kind of face down his opponent. Not in the least because it seems like Toiletguy, is he trying to stall out? That'll take him forever to a Jagdtiger, so I really hope he's not doing that. It'll take him forever and a day to get to a King Tiger, too. So my guess is, are we going to see something like a Jagdpanzer out in the field? That might be a good idea. It's it is a fairly open map. That's kind of a problem, but he's getting a fair amount of fuel right now. Very soon to be a little bit less, though. And indeed, we are going to see this push right back up the middle again. It's hey, diddle, diddle. And those conscripts are going to take some artillery fire. It's not going to be too great for them. The PTRSs and the LMGs of that Obersoldaten group, yeah, the conscripts are going to get forced back rather quickly. It's a very, very expeditious retreat to the rear. And unfortunately, it seems like those Soviets did not remember those mines were in play, and indeed are taking some really, really significant losses from them. But all of that, setbacks don't seem to bother up the Soviets too much. They are still burning the fire in their eyes and on their backs, and then a thrower that go, I don't know, guys. I'm trying to paint myself out of that corner, but it's not going to happen. Once you're in the corner, you're not getting out unless you're baby, because nobody puts baby in a corner. And indeed, there's just a lot of standing around right now from Tassos' troops, and I kind of wonder if he's just trying to figure out his next attack, or if he's just going to start using the mortar to just rain unholy hell on top of the German positions. Not 100% sure, but with another mortar team coming out, we are going to probably assume that these mortars are going to be a vicious part of his game plan moving forwards. And to be fair, with two squads, of Sturmoppios, he can definitely be pushing. Oh no, he can repair his headquarters, but I'm not sure he can stand up to two separate mortar barrages. Is it bordered by the T-3485? He could definitely start sliding around to the east. And are we starting to see that? Penal troops are sliding in and saying, "Oh my gosh, guys, there's the enemy right here." And yeah, Toiletguy is majorly blobbing right now. Penal troops are throwing a satchel charge into the house, though. Will they know? Does he know it's there? No, this machine gun's going to go down. It's too late. It goes down. Say sayonara, say domo arigato. Use whatever Japanese phrase you want to. That guy is toast. Take a fork in him. Volksgrens, in the meantime, are going to start to chase off this T-3485, which knows the Raketin is there. It's deciding to get his own little armored keister out of there. Meanwhile, the surviving guard squad is going to start to lay the hurt down on top of the Sturmpyos, taking them down to just a couple of models. The other Sturmpyo squad goes down. Is that from rounds in the mortar? I don't know, but if it is, it's just a brutal, brutal hit. These Volksgrens are charging forwards. I'm not sure if this is just brave or foolhardy. But they could probably toss. Are they trying to toss down a Panzerfaust? Run, you morons. It is not going to be good for you. This is not going to end well. I see it. I see it in my mind. And they finally realize that and back away. They're going to go right back through some penal troops. Probably the only bright thing about this is Rakettenwerfer is going to get a couple of shots off on the T-3485 before he's being forced to retreat. 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 There we go. There we go. He's going to back away now. Intelligent lad. But it's too late for him. He's going to get cooked. And he's going to run into the arms of his Soviet saviors. They're just going to calmly take it away from him. Alright, Yagtiga, 280. That's going to be a long time before he gets that. I'm not sure it's really necessary at this point. Maybe just, again, build something a little bit more, you know, worthwhile. What to build, what to build, what to build. A P4 is not going to really stand up to too many hits from the T-34. But he really needs some more dedicated anti-tank. He really needs some armor out in the field. But you can just see right now that T-3485 is wiping squads left, right, and center. Here he goes. He crushes that last one. That poor guy goes down. And the Raketin says, I don't know which way to go. He's like playing Twister with himself. Decides to back away. You know, discretion is a better part of valor. You know, he's gonna let the T-34 get a little bit of air superiority to make his own attack that much more ferocious. 257 to 201. There's a big push coming on the eastern side. And it seems like the entire Russian army is coming out the eastern side. Dear God, why? Why, my friends? I don't know. T-3485, though, has decided to go for that combat mode, goes to the capture ability. Kind of an interesting idea going on. He's not going to go for the self-repair, which might be a good idea, thinking about it. His own combat engineers are kind of sliding around, dipping and diving all over the place. Not being on the most precisely important spots. In the meantime, Sturmoffizier is going to get chased off. That guy is just barely alive with the PTRSs. Surviving Rakettenwerfer, I mean, right now, starting to see the Toiletguy's lineup is starting to look a little bit scanty. ISG throwing rounds down in the center, and that might savage that squad. The double ISG? No, it's just one ISG. For some reason, the barrage is starting to come very, very quickly. Did not understand why. And yikes, the Rakettenwerfer is down, which means that T-3485 could really just run forward, just butcher everybody. Heck, I probably would have charged up with that penal battalion squad and just thrown out a satchel charge to destroy the anti-tank gun. As is, those mortars have proven their worth. They've taken out the crew of the ISG, dropping down Toiletguy to just 4 squads, 2 Obers, 1 Volksgren, which barely alive. And with the Sturmoffizier squad, who is also savaged. Is Toiletguy really just trying to wait out for that Tiga? The Jagdtiga? That's a bad idea. Volks is down. He's got no real infantry left on this map. Yeah, Tassos was up against the ropes for quite a bit of time, but I think Toiletguy's throwing it away. T-3485 knows there's nothing left on the field that can really cause him that much harm. He's going to charge forwards here. Might even go deep. I start hammering on that HQ section. That actually might be an interesting idea. And instead it's going to be the recrewed ISG. Interesting decision. Penal troops just going to throw themselves up. There goes a satchel on top of that Rakettenwerfer, so that's going to be dead. And there goes the wall, which opens up a line of fire for the ISG. I mean, against the ISG, that is. And now with the mortars have this entire position zeroed in. So these trucks are right on top of each other, and this is a motor pool you do not want to be a part of. I'm waiting for the next rounds to come in, and dear God, is a Katyusha coming out? Yeah, this is not going to go off the Germans. There's going to be a lot of rain coming down. Iron rain. Chubby rain. Death-dealing rain. The rain of steel. The iron rain. The iron price. A lot of things being iron coming down. A lot of rain coming down. A lot of precipitation. 216 to 187. We're going to come on to hit the 30-minute mark right now. And I don't know that the Germans can really get back into this. I guess they're just really waiting for that Jagdtiger. And considering the losses he's taken to get through this, I don't know if I agree with that particular option. Come on, throw a satchel charge over the wall. You can do it. I believe in you. You can fly. But instead, I think he's just going to bring the Katyusha forward, and the little Katya is going to speak her mind any second here. The second she does, my friends, oh, ain't nobody going to be ready. Oh, dear God, is he going to just throw rounds over here to the west? I don't know. I don't know. It seems Katya is a little bit confused what she wants to do with her life. Where's that round coming in? No. It goes in. It goes out. It starts doing that whole little farting back and forth here. He's trying to get up on top of this hillside. No rounds. No rounds. Shocking. Any second now we're going to see rounds. I almost guarantee you. I kind of want it to happen. I almost need it to happen. 168 to 187. The trip cap for the Soviets is really going to start hammering into the German reserves here. Don't know if they're going to be able to survive this kind of attention for long. And somehow they've managed to take it. Oof. Oof, that was juicy. A vicious, vicious attack there. Mortars coming in. And now, there comes Katya's round. She's throwing rounds down. She's not going to hit a whole lot. She's going to start to pepper pretty much every single headquarters known to mankind. It's not going to do a ton of lasting damage, but he doesn't really need to at this point. I mean, he's got the T-34-85. He's got the mortars. You know, he's got everything he needs. So, 3 kills later, surprisingly enough, the medics have survived. Don't know how. But the mechanics, oh, they have not quite been so lucky. They are dead and gone. They are never coming back, Jim. And T-34-85 rotating over to the west, and this pitiful German army really should just throw in the towel right about now. They really should. It is full veterancy for a lot of the Soviet squads. These guys have been around for almost ever. And I'm shocked to see that these mortar squads have not been throwing covering rounds over on top of the German positions. Indeed, they have one measly anti-tank weapon, and now they have a second one, but it's taken forever. It's taken a long, long time for this Jagdtiger to come on board. This guy's just really great against vehicles. I mean, it's awesome against vehicles, but it's lousy against infantry. And where the Soviets, I just come up and start chucking satchel charges everywhere. 3 seconds is a really, really long time. But the Jagdtiger, oh, no, actually, excuse me, no, it wasn't a Jagdtiger, it's the King Tiger. I take back what I said. This could be enough to turn it around. He might have a chance. I don't know. 3254, and he announces his presence by throwing a round into that church. And the conscripts do decide that it is time for them to find another position. Sturmoffizier, in the meantime, though, is going to run right smack dab into this penal battalion squad with a flamethrower, and yep, there goes the officer who's going to force those guys into retreat. The only thing that's lucky for him, as the German squads, that the PTRS wasn't dropped. And that's Su-85s coming on the field as well, so Katya's backed up, and the T-34-85 is backed up, but it doesn't mean that everything is still good enough for the Germans. 33-30 into this game, 116 to 187. He still doesn't control enough of the field to even be remotely okay with how the map is going. Oh, yay. But that KT is still vicious. He is going to prioritize those vehicles as much as possible. And I kind of wonder, is he looking to find Katya? No, instead he's putting rounds into that mortar. Not sure why necessarily. Obersoldaten will find themselves getting hammered. And the King Tiger says, you know what, the T-34-85, he's mine, but he's not going to do a whole lot about it. So the Su-85 on the field, I think this KT's lifespan on this map might be severely limited. More rockets coming in. Where is the question? Is it coming right back on top? No, it goes over, right in the middle part of the field. But the scatter on this could be devastating. One bright, shining moment, though, is the fact that the captured Rakettenwerfer has been taken back out by the KT. Though the Soviets are now under a 1-0 cap. What a shocker right there. Big, big shocker. And these brave, brave Panzer Fusiliers are coming forward, trying to go and maybe come in deep to really pick on the mortar, but it's not going to do a whole lot for them. Rifle grenade coming out, going to damage the engine of the Su-85, and maybe, just maybe, allow that KT to remove one of his tormentors. Unfortunately for him, that T-34-85 is still in his rear and with marked vehicle on top of him. He's taking a fair amount of damage, my friends. I don't know if this one's got the distance. He's going. He's trying to get away. Bounces around. Main gun destroyed. Unlucky. Oh my gosh, but somehow rounds coming in. What the heck are rounds coming from? Oh, light arty barrage. Oh. Oh, that's just pitiful. Toiletguy kills his own KT. The light arty barrage. That's a brutal, brutal loss right there, my friends. Yikes. And a 1-to-1 cap now, 107 to 175, 35-40 into this game. The Germans are desperately trying to build back up their armored power, build anything really. Sturms are coming back onto the field, and my friends, when you're getting a 35-minute Sturmpio, that's when you know things are rather dire. 4-star Volks is pretty much leading the charge over here to the east, while the Soviets calmly take back the positions in the south. Strangely enough, this mortar has not been throwing rounds down really on anyone. Where are the rounds coming from? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But they are going to reposition themselves a little bit, seeing that these Volks are coming up and around their position. Maybe even suggest they might want to back off a little more expeditiously. I don't know. They're going to retreat, and that's a good idea right there. But a second T-34-85 is coming onto the field, and although his first T-34-85 is still languishing without a main cannon, he doesn't really have to worry too much about actually having that here. I mean, geez, one more time. He's going to have his Katyushas. You have 2 T-34s, and what are the Germans going to have? Nothing. For those harsh words and 1 PTRS. And really, I guess the Panzer Fusiliers rifle grenade, but that's really not going to be a big game-changing kind of weapon now, is it? Guess what I'm trying to say is that Tassos 117 really should have this game in the bag, and I'm wondering if he doesn't just charge right now with like an attack of the light brigade thing here going on. Okay, it's a good idea here. We should be able to take out at least one of these vehicles, one of these HQs, probably even 2. Yep, and again, harsh language as all these guys have. They're not upgrading with the Shreks. They're not going to go and really take anything out. Yes, this anti-aircraft gun on top of the Schwerpanzer headquarters will do a fair amount of damage, but we could even see the little Katya taking down Battle Group headquarters, and she does, excuse me. And once Katya speaks her mind in anger, my friends, it is time to throw in the towel. And there's just a bunch of random explosive traps everywhere for the Soviets. Were I the Germans, yeah, this would be over, I dare say. I think it's just a matter of time until that happens. So while this game's kind of wrapping up, I will just say thank you so much to both these players for playing this particular game. I do believe it's going to be Tassos bringing out the big W here. Toiletguy could have been a lot more aggressive on the field, could have been preserving his troops a little bit more. Yep, and there it goes. So in a 38-minute and 15-second game, Toiletguy takes the plunge. He watches his dreams go down, go swirl around the bowl and go away. And Tassos takes home the victory, despite some blobbing being done by his opponent. Heroes of the match might actually have to be that early guard squad who just been in the game for such a long time. Let's not get these penal troops. Wow, 24, 25 kills. And these mortars at the same time, not so much unsung heroes, but heroes who spoke their mind a little bit too much, perhaps. Whatever the case, thanks for tuning in, folks. I will see you all soon. This is khanulricgaming signing off. Take it easy.